Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about quantitative inheritance. Mendel studied different traits in the pea plant known as the Mendel's pea plant in his experiments, and these were known as Mendelian traits. These traits were qualitative in nature. That means these have distinct phenotypic categories, or these can be grouped into distinct class and are controlled by one or a few genes. You can understand it better in my video on Mendelian genetics. The link is given in description box. But later on, with further studies, scientists came across certain traits which cannot be classified into distinctive set of phenotypes or distinctive class of phenotypes. And these represents continuous character of degree, that is blend from one type to the another. Example, body weight gain, pigmentation, egg or milk production. If we take the example of pigmentation, this leads to the different skin color, and these ranges from dark to light with several intermediate color. So it cannot be classified into distinct categories that this is dark and this is light, but this shows the continuous change in the degree of skin coloration ranging from dark to light with several intermediate skin color. Let us see the comparison between quantitative and qualitative trait. Quantitative trait know two distinct categories. This shows the continuous variability. Here there is two distinct categories. Variation in degree, that is the phenotype slightly blend from one type to another. But here there is variation in kinds. Example, tall or dwarf, red or white, and so on. Quantitative traits are governed by multiple genes, and hence these are known as polygenic traits. Qualitative traits are governed by one or two genes. So they are known as monogenic or biogenic traits, and mostly these are monogenic traits. Quantitative trait can be modified by environmental factors. That is, environmental factors modulate these quantitative traits. Example, kernel color of wheat. But in case of qualitative traits, there is little or no environmental modification. Example, height of pea plants. There is no dominant and recessive allele in quantitative trait, but in qualitative trait, dominant and recessive alleles are present. Hence, quantitative traits are governed by many genes that are present at many loci. Hence, these traits are also known as polygenic trait, and each gene contributes small amount to the phenotype. So, the effect of genes are cumulative or additive, and their combined effect is seen in the phenotype. Individually, if we want to detect the effect of any gene, it cannot be detected, or it is not possible. There is no genetic interaction between alleles of different loci. There is no linkage seen. No dominance is exhibited. Suppose there is a pair of allele capital A, small a. This is responsible for the phenotype and this is not responsible for the phenotype. It is not that this capital A is dominant and this is recessive. It is not like that. But allele which are responsible for any phenotype are known as contributing allele, and the allele which are not responsible for the phenotype is known as non-contributing allele. Hence, we can say that gene locus is occupied by contributing allele or non-contributing allele. No dominance is exhibited. Continuous variation is seen. There is the degree of variation in the phenotype. So, there is the spectrum of the phenotype, and these slightly blend from one type to the another type, and hence there is continuous variation seen. And this continuous variation is combined effect of genetic and environmental factor. None of them exclusively is responsible for the variation. So now, what is quantitative inheritance? The inheritance of a character that depends upon the cumulative, or in other words additive, action of many genes, each of which produces only a small effect, is known as quantitative inheritance. Let us understand this by the experiments performed by Nilsson and Ehle on the color of wheat kernel. Parental type red and white grains were crossed. F1 were all intermediate red. Then it was selved. In the F2 generation, total number of offsprings obtained were 64, and these were of 7 phenotypic class. These were in the ratio of 1:6:15:20:15:6:1. If we see the class 1, these were dark red in color. Class 2 moderate red, class 3 red, class 4 intermediate red, class 5 light red, 6 very light red, and 7 white. So there is no distinct category of or class of color, but there is continuous variation, or there is variation in the degree of color from dark red to white. So what was suggested, that 3 genes are involved and each having the 2 allele. Here A, B and C. These were contributing allele which were responsible for the phenotype, and allele small a, b and c are non-contributing allele. So in the class 1, dark red means all the alleles are contributing. So total number of alleles are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we see class 2 moderate red, here the contributing allele is 5. Class 3, which is red in color, contributing allele is 4. Class 4 intermediate red, contributing allele is 3. Class 5 light red, contributing allele is 2. Class 6 very light red, contributing allele is 1. And class 7, which is white in color, there is no contributing allele, all are non-contributing allele. If we plot a graph by taking the ratio of individual that shows different phenotypes in y-axis and number of class in the x-axis, then we get a bell-shaped curve or the bell-shaped graph. This is known as Gaussian distribution. This is for F2 generation. If we study the graph, what we see that two extremes, dark red and white. Dark red and white phenotype is possessed by smaller number of individual in the population. here 1 by 64 and 1 by 64. And maximum number of individual possess this intermediate phenotype. Maximum number of individual 20 by 64 possess intermediate phenotype, which is intermediate red. So what we see, very few individual possess extreme phenotypes, more possess intermediate phenotype. So the intermediate phenotype is seen in maximum number of individual, which then gradually decreases towards this extreme and this extreme, and hence we get bell-shaped curve known as the Gaussian distribution. And this curve is smooth because in addition to the genetic factors, the environmental factor is also responsible for the phenotype. Here the color of wheat kernels. Also, more the number of the gene pairs involved, greater the number of the class. So, greater the number of the gene pairs that are involved in the phenotypic expression of any trait, there will be greater number of the classes. So, this is all for today's video. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share it and subscribe my channel. Thank you.